Wishing you good health, dear Ukrainians. There were many things today, including reports from the military and the commander-in-chief. We continue our counteroffensive actions in the Donetsk direction, in the areas of Pokrovsk and Dobropilya. It was precisely there that one of the most important directions for the Russian offensive was, and they were unable to launch a full-scale assault there. Our soldiers are destroying their forces. The Russians are suffering significant losses. The exchange fund for our state has also been substantially replenished. Every day brings more Russian prisoners of war. I want to thank all our units involved, the 79th and 82nd Air Assault Brigades, our assault units, the 1st, 33rd, 225th, and 425th Assault Regiments, and the 14th Brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine. Thank you, warriors, and Kupiansk as well, the areas around the city. We are defending our positions. Thank you to all the brigade. There will be new deep strikes from us in response to what Russia is doing. Today I held a staff meeting. The main thing is the production of our own weapons. There are clear quantities of what our army needs by the end of the year, as well as what is needed for next year and what we must have in our warehouses for defense to maintain our sufficient strength. Of course, this also means sufficient funding for weapons production. Here, in Ukraine, production is carried out together with our partners, as well as the supply to Ukraine of what our partners manufacture themselves. Any shortfall in funding for weapons production will be covered by us from this year onwards, including through the controlled export of certain types of our weapons. Thanks to such controlled exports, we will increase the production of drones for the front line and will have the funds for certain types of weapons. And this is modern weaponry. We are capable of producing on a much larger scale than we can finance ourselves. And certain types of weapons we already have in much greater quantities than we actually need in Ukraine today. For example, naval drones, which the world is counting on and which we have in surplus. Also, anti-tank weapons and some other types. So, the first priority is the front line, supplying our brigades. The second priority is our Ukrainian arsenals. And only the third priority is this kind of controlled export. Within 2 weeks, a concept for 3 new export platforms will be presented. The first platform is for export and cooperation with the United States of America. The second platform is for our European partners. The third direction is other partners around the world who are also interested in Ukrainian weapons and from whom Ukraine has received various forms of support. It is essential that they help us as well, just as we help them. Right now, it is Ukrainians, Ukrainian companies, and the Ukrainian army who have some of the strongest experience in modern warfare. This largely concerns advanced weaponry and cutting-edge technologies. Ukraine will not engage in arms charity or help those who are indifferent to Ukraine. We are ready to work with those who have genuinely supported us and our independence. Of course, there must also be reliable export controls to ensure that Ukrainian technologies and our weapons do not fall into the hands of the Russians or their allies. Our Ukrainian companies, the arms manufacturers, have spoken a lot about this. There is a great deal of global interest in joint projects with Ukraine for weapons production. There is also clear demand for our weapons. Accordingly, through managed exports, we will be able to accumulate funds for increased production of the things our army needs. Another thing that strengthens the army. Thank you to the members of Parliament for passing my bill on the military ombudsman. This is about real protection of our soldiers' rights. The law has already been signed and published. Today I signed a decree to bring the law into effect. A decree on the establishment of the office of the military ombudsman. The regulations for the operation of this institution have also been approved. And I will appoint Olha Reshetilova, a person our soldiers know well, as Ukraine's first military ombudsman. Next comes the launch of institutions for systematic work. It is important that this is felt at all levels within Ukraine's defense forces. We are doing what strengthens the army. We are doing what strengthens the soldiers of our army. Thank you to everyone who helps. Thank you to all who work for our Ukraine. To everyone who fights for our state. Glory to Ukraine.